going on, y'all, man? It's your boy Chase Vibes back with another video. As y'all can see from the title, today I'm going to be showing you how to make some experimental nav loops, kind of something that like Wheezy would mess with. So yeah, just go ahead and get right into it. So as y'all can see, if you guys follow me on Instagram, which you should be if you're watching this, I recently got Vibes tatted on me, also Splitmind tatted on me, part of the Splitmind Forever Club. You know what I'm saying? Half been changing my life, Splitmind been changing my life, y'all been changing my life, so it's only right to get it tatted on me for life. Yes, sir. Yeah, so with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive right into the video. Alright, y'all, so I've been working on this new analog lab bank for Artificial Volume 3 of my Artificial collection. If you're watching this, it's already going to be out, drumify.com, or one of these little pop-up links. It's 50 presets in Analog Lab 5. It's going to be a lot of presets in there that are good for like this NAV, Wheezy sound, kind of like just weird like Q-beats, dark stuff, ambient stuff, a lot of like pads and keys in there. But this is one of the loops I'm going to be breaking down. It's going to have like 15 bonus loops in it. Yeah, I really like this loop a lot, but this is a collab loop that I did with my boy Nico Barron. He went ahead and sent me this MIDI right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and break down how I started making it. Alright, y'all, so the first thing that I did was go into Analog Lab, and I went to one of my presets called Synth Keys. It's called Sometimes. This is what I played. Yes, sir. And for processing for that, I just went to Portal. I wanted to give it like a weird texture. I just went to my preset bank that I recently dropped, Artificial Volume 2. It's the Moving Shadows preset. And now it's basically what I did for that. Then next up, what I wanted to go ahead and do was turn this into a wave file. So I just went to this little record button down here. I did Option R if you're on Mac, or I believe Alt R if you're on Windows, or Control R. But I just basically reversed it. I really like the way that sounded, and as you can see, I chopped it in fours because whenever you reverse it, the bass notes also reverse, so you want to kind of flip it back into place. So I just moved these around like this, but I just flipped them back just around. So instead of this part over here being first, just flipped around. Go ahead and mute that. So next up, I went ahead and layered that with another instance of Analog Lab. This one right here, and this is the mallet that I have called Addiction. That's what it sounds like. It's real ambient and flush. Oh, you hit it low. That's so hard. But I threw on another preset from Portal. It's called Flutter. That was that. Next up after that, I went ahead and add like some weird lead, and I already knew that I was gonna reverse it because I just wanted to kind of like experiment with it. So it's this lead right here called CE5. It's not out of my bank, it's just a basic like stock preset with Analog Lab. I don't know where it's at, but it's called CE5. That's what it sounds like. Alright, and then for processing for that, all that I did was just throw on Portal. Just went to the... So I didn't do any processing all that I did was just turn it into a wave file, and then I reversed it. I chopped it up in fours like how I did with our main melody, and then I just flipped them around like that. So I just flipped them back around. And then basically this is what we got now. It's like real subtle. I threw it to the mixer channel. I threw on effect rack. I went to delays. I went to chorus delay and chorus echo. Then I went to Portal. I went to my bank, and I went to this preset called pitch effect right here. And then last but not least, I went to a S1 image stereo just to kind of like move it out of the mix a little bit, just kind of widen it. So this is what we got. And I really like the way that came out. So next up, I wanted to add a bass just to kind of fill it up a little bit. So this is the bass that we got. Went into Analog Lab, went to my bass called Mention. That was real simple. Next up, I added an automation clip, a volume automation clip for the bass, just so it didn't bleed into our first part of the hook. So I just turned the volume to 0 right here so it doesn't bleed over. And it just cuts it out immediately. So next up, I added these little AdSense right here. And I just reverse this over here. Hear what that sounds like with it. It's very subtle, but it's there. AdSense are basically just little ear candy things that you can add to your loop. So next up, I added this next AdSense. It's a little bubble effect. And then I just took this, I reversed it, and then I just took away this first little, you know, clipping part right there. So. And then I got this vocal pad right here. And I just added a volume automation clip for it, so that way it doesn't just, it's not just on one volume level, it kind of like fades down. Just like that. And I turned that into a WAV file, and then we have this now. Perfect. So this is what it sounds like with the loop. So after that, I wanted to start adding some textures. So I got this texture right here that I've been working on. It's going to be in like a future one-shot kit that I'll drop at some point. Cool little texture. Next up, I added like this weird like other texture. It's kind of like a pad low-key, but I've been using it as like textures in some of my loops. But I threw on Portal and Halftime on it. I just threw on the changes pitch preset, and then I threw on halftime right here, just basic halftime preset. And then that was basically that for the loop. And then I started arranging it just to kind of switch it up. And then after I export the loop, then I do some more manipulation to it. I've been really processing my loops heavy recently, so this is what I basically did. Was we have the intro right here, which is 18 bars. We have the hook that's 16, and then the verse that's 16. I copied everything over, as you guys can see, our layered melody right here, which is our mallet. Copied that over, and then for the verse, I went ahead and brought back in our main melody that we reversed, kept that, and then I brought back in our lead for the second part of the verse, our lead for the second part of the hook. I kept our AdSense, I kept our textures, our vocals, and everything. The only difference that I did for the verse with the vocal right here that we added was I dropped this down 1 octave, versus over here it being up an octave. And that was just going to kind of create some variety in the loop itself. So this is what we got for the first part of the hook. Kept the textures, kept the AdSense. And then the second part of the hook, I bring in the reverse lead. And then for the verse, I switch up all the melodies, just give it a whole different vibe. I have the vocal that's dropped down 1 octave. And then for the second part of the verse, I bring back in the reverse lead, but I dropped it down 1 octave. So after that, I was pretty satisfied with that. So I went to the master channel right here. I typically do this, I throw on a Cranberry tape stereo. So after that, I went ahead and went over to the master. I went to the little record button, did Option R. I turned it into its own WAV file, and then I muted all of these over here. So let's just go ahead and do that. All right, so we got our WAV file right here, right? The loop, but I felt like it needed something else, so I just chopped this little 8-bar section right here. I put it on stretch, I put it on a declicking mode, generic bleeding, so it didn't click or anything. As you guys can see, there's like a little fade right there. I took this over here, I clicked on this, I clicked make unique as sample, and then I reversed it, and then I chopped it up in 8 bars, and I just flipped it back into place. So this is what it was originally, and then I just reversed it and I flipped it just like this. Bam. And then I moved it up 1 octave. I sent it to the mixer channel over here. I put on an EQ to EQ some of the high and some of the low end out, and then I threw on Portal, and I threw on my preset called Attention. And then this is what we got. So it sounds like before. But this is what it sounds like with the additional melody we added. and then I just keep that going throughout the hook, and then for the verse I just take that all away. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. That was pretty much how to make like an experimental nav loop. If you guys want, make sure to go get my Analog Lab 5 Bank Artificial Volume 3s out now. One of these little pop-up links are linked in the descriptions. I appreciate you guys for watching the videos. Comment below what you guys want to see more of in the future. Yeah, and I love y'all. I'm out.